G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to another slot car video. And I did promise when I was in Austria, which is where I am right now, I was going to do some slot car hunting. So today I'm heading out of Kitzbühel, which is where I'm staying, to the town called WOGAL, and I'm going to check out some of the weird and wonderful shops they have for me to hunt for some toys and hopefully for some slot cars. Now, it is very different to what I have in Australia, so I'm hoping to find some slot car goodness, but let's just go on a toy hunt in general and see what some of the shops are like here in Austria. So our first stop in WOGAL was Teddy. Now this is a specialist stop, like a $2 store. Of course everything is worth more than $2, and these guys normally carry a really good range of Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, and sometimes Measuretta and some other die-cast cars. But as soon as I walked in, these two massive bins of pretty much the latest released Hot Wheels. Now you'll notice these are shorter cards. In Australia we get the long cards. These are the European versions. 2 bins full of Hot Wheels. Nothing good for me to take home. I am a collector, but unfortunately all the good stuff that I wanted had already been taken away. And then around the other side we had a couple of latest release Matchbox that they weren't too old, and a couple more Hot Wheels on display. But again, I didn't take anything, but it was cool to see so much stock on the shelves. We don't really see this kind of shop in Australia. I'd say this is pretty much like what we call the reject shop, but I think these Teddy shops are pretty impressive if you're a toy car collector. So I left empty-handed, and we'll try the next shop. Hopefully I'll find some gold. Let's see how we go. So these are one of my favourite shops. It's called Mller. It's pretty incredible. Normally they're double story, they're 2 levels. So downstairs is like your chemist, and upstairs is pretty much a toy shop and a video game shop with other stuff like stationery. But here we go, a massive wall of Playmobil. Now in Australia, Playmobil isn't as popular as Lego, but if you're going to try and compare it, you'd say it's their version of sort of a kid's Lego. But they had a bit of everything, so I thought I'd try and snap as much as I could of what this shop had. But they had pop vinyls, you name it. I was pretty blown away from the stock, and every time I visit Austria, I always visit every Mller store that I can, and most towns do have their own Mller store. So around the corner here you see the great big wall of Playmobil again, and then once you look to the left there is all the Lego. Really cool selection of Lego. But I got a bit excited because as I turned around I saw some Carrera, and I thought, here we go, slot car goodness. But unfortunately there wasn't that much, which I really am surprised. A lot of 143 or Carrera Go. No, that was good to see, but I'm looking for the 132 stuff, but unfortunately there wasn't much there for me. Now for price, I would say once you convert it back to Australian dollars, it's around about the same kind of money. But it was pretty cool seeing how much stock of 143 scale slot car stuff they had, and this was the only 132 scale slot car they had in the entire store. And 70 euros, bit of a steep price for me to purchase. But here we go. Here's all the sets that they had on display. Moving along again, we had some more Carrera stuff, which is cool to see. These little mini RC cars. And Siku. I don't know if everyone in the world has seen Siku. We do get Siku in Australia. Pretty popular here in Austria or Europe. And had a bit of odds and ends. This shop has a bit of everything. The latest Batman set. They've got some color changer cars. Pretty cool to see. We don't always get these kind of sets in Australia, but as you can see, they're not full sets. It looks like they get bits and pieces. So some other models that they had on display, Barago. They had their own kind of brand, their own Measuretta Mller brand, so they do have some Mller special cars. Some of these Measuretta new releases, we don't get some of these, which is really good to see. Some latest Measuretta. Now they've come a long way. I think Measuretta is a definite good company if you are a die-cast collector, and they do some Mller specials as well. And of course I had to look for the Hot Wheels. I'm a Hot Wheel collector, but they only have a small range. Normally this company has a massive bin full of Hot Wheels, but unfortunately just a little selection for me today. And then we had some more Measuretta. Good to see. And a little bit of Matchbox. Not too much Matchbox, but there was enough there if you're a die-cast car collector. And again, some more Pops. They're still pretty popular here in Europe. We do have them in Australia. And then the wall of Lego, very, very impressive. They have everything, so if you are a Lego collector, Europe is definitely a place to be. And a little poly bag that I wish I grabbed, the Aston Martin. I didn't, I should have, but I'll probably go back and get that. And I did say they had video games. It's almost an all-in-one shop, so they had PS4, PS5, all the newest stuff. Everything was in stock as well, which was good to see. In Australia, the systems are out of stock. Well, I think they're back in now. They had some Nintendo Switch and, of course, some Xbox stuff. Really cool shop. If you're in Austria, check them out. Mller, I think they're incredible. Now, I was excited to go to what I thought was going to be Toys R Us, but this is now Smith's. This is the old Toys R Us shop in WOGAL. I haven't been to Austria in 4 years, and it was Toys R Us 4 years ago. Now it's been rebranded as Smith's, and this place is huge. Now, the layout has changed, but they have got everything. Massive toy shop. Good to see it's still there, even though it's been rebranded. But again, Lego. If you love Lego, this is the country to be in. It was just everything you can think of, and they have most of the stuff in stock. Now, the difference between Australia and here, I believe, is Australia, if you see it, grab it, because it does run out pretty quick. Absolutely love Playmobil. There were some Playmobil cars. They do a lot of Porsches, and then some more Lego. But if you haven't seen Playmobil, please give it a Google. Some of the stuff is pretty damn cool if you're a collector of Porsche or some bigger cars. But of course, being Europe, this is a wall of Playmobil. Now, we do get these in Australia, but I wish they were more popular, but I didn't have them as a kid. Kind of wish I did, because they're pretty damn cool. So more Lego. Now, I did stop here because I saw the Ecto. I really do want to get that Ecto, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it home easily enough in my luggage, so I left it behind. So I found the Hot Wheels section. Again, a little bit light on. I don't know what's happening with Hot Wheels and die-cast cars in Europe. It's normally twice the size of this, but it was good to see some really good stock. Very different stock, so if you are, again, a collector, there's a lot here to wet the whistle. I was checking for some gold. There's some cars that I did miss out in Australia, because I'm now here in Europe. But unfortunately, the one I want wasn't there. And you'll see the short cards, the little Hot Wheels short cars. Well, that is European. We do get them in Australia, but most of our Hot Wheels are the longer carded version. But it is pretty cool seeing some short cards. Was looking for some gold. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything that I didn't already have. But it was just cool to see what kind of stock. Now, I was actually surprised some of these sets that you see on the shelf we've had for a long time in Australia, and you can see they just sit here on the shelves, so maybe they were hit and miss. Lots of Batman stuff, so if you are a Batman fan, they had a lot of Batman Hot Wheels and some of the newer entertainment release sets. Really cool to see. Transporters, they had the latest transporters, but all the good stuff was taken, so there's definite collectors in WOGAL. I know there's definitely collectors in Austria, so I had to be pretty quick, and I did miss out on all the goodies. Majoretta, again, absolutely love what they're doing. These tune-ups are pretty cool. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe we've got these 4-packs in Australia, but these are pretty cool, and they were very cheap. Big wall of cars, the movie, He-Man. I'm a huge He-Man fan, so I thought I'd take a quick snapshot of some of the other toys that they had, and it was some pretty damn cool stuff. Now, I was getting excited because I did see Carrera. I knew I was walking towards what I thought was going to be an epic slot car section, which the Toys R Us did have that 4 years ago, and this is all I found. I was so disappointed, but it's cool. 143 is definitely big here in Austria. Not so big in Australia, but it is cool seeing a lot of 143 Carrera Go stock. And actually, some of these cars did look good. Did I take any home? No, I didn't. I probably should have actually, but I didn't. So a quick wide shot of all the sets. Again, price probably the same as Australia once you convert the dollar. Now, I did find a couple of things on the end of these pegs here that I did take home. I'm a Porsche fan. I don't have this Porsche, so I thought, why not? I won't go home empty-handed. And that's pretty much what I took. So moving away from the die-cast car section and the slot car section, I thought I'd try and capture some of the other stuff they had in this store because it was really, really big. But they did have Beyblades, Star Wars toys. The selection in the shop was impressive. And again, the price is pretty much the same as Australia. And finally, we did come across a stand of Siku. These are pretty popular in Europe. We do have them in Australia, but I wouldn't say I would collect these. They do some special editions, but they're not really that collectible in Australia. But it's good to see that the Siku range is still quite healthy. So as I was leaving Smith's, this shop was next door. I didn't get the entry, but it's another $2 or special item shop. And I thought there might be some die-cast cars in here. And I did find these pretty cool 2-pack Hot Wheels sets. At the start I thought they were bootleg. I checked them out, they're not bootleg. And I did have to pick up the Porsche, which I thought looked pretty cool. So I did go home with a couple of die-cast cars, but it was cool seeing this little shop with some interesting items. Next was Ausch and Strauss. Now, I've done really well in this shop in the past. They've had some unique Hot Wheels stuff, but I was very disappointed because this is all they had when it came to die-cast cars. And to say I was disappointed, well, take a look at this. So the last shop we went to is called Interspar. This is a supermarket. We have Coles and Woolworths in Australia, but these are pretty cool. They're in all the major towns. Interspar is the big one upstairs, and this one is pretty much a toy shop. Incredible. So I did a quick walk around. They had Play-Doh. Of course, they had die-cast cars. There was a bin full of Cars the Movie, Barago, and Majoretta. Again, it's almost like a toy shop upstairs, and this is a supermarket. You can go downstairs and buy your fruit and veg, or go upstairs and do some shopping. Some more Lego. It was good seeing some newer stuff on display. I located the Hot Wheels or the die-cast section, so I jet-setted straight to that area. Really good range. Very impressed with the range of die-cast cars here. A good mix of everything. It had Siku, Majoretta, Hot Wheels, you name it. It was a really good selection of cars. I did leave empty-handed, but it was good seeing how much stuff was on display. I always do check the short cards because you never know what you're going to find. Did come across these awesome Matchbox premium or collector set. I didn't see these in Australia, so I had a quick look to see if there's something I liked, but I did leave the shop empty-handed. But again, this is a supermarket. This is where you go get your milk and bread, and I was just blown away that this was so well stocked. And before I left, I did put all the cars back. I don't like making a mess, but it was quite easy trying to use one hand and the camera. But before I left, I did make sure I cleaned up and put all the cars back in their positions. We did have this set in Australia, but I did miss out on that run, so I was just checking to make sure there was anything I liked on the back of that set, but I didn't take anything home this time. So that wraps up my toy hunt here in WOGAL, Austria. I will be hitting Salzburg and Vienna. Here is my email if you want to send me anything or send me somewhere whilst I'm in Europe. These are my tags, Instagram and YouTube. But be safe, take care, support your local. Ciao.